All right, hello everyone, and welcome back to Redlock. We are here for the grand finals, the last two matches of the tournament, determining the order of the podium. These two players, Nujabes and SparklyFairy200, better known as TS Fury and Birchman, both already guaranteed top three, but needing to win here to have a shot at winning the tournament overall. Losing means elimination in third place, and a win gives them the right to face Wanderio in the grand finals proper, as well as a guarantee of at least about $180 for an overall cash prize. I'm Dio, and I'm going to be joined by iFlame here shortly as he gets his PC on very quickly. We're now, though, already into the bans for both of these players. Quick DT2 ban for Birchman against TS Fury, which makes a ton of sense. The Hidden 2 Nomad 6 bans coming out for TS Fury also making a lot of sense. And Birchman, I'm kind of expecting the DT3 ban or the Nomad 5 ban, one of the two. Nomad 2 this week, 180 BPM. Nomad 5 this week, 240-ish BPM flow stamina speed. And, of course, DT3 is nearly 300 BPM with long stream bursts. So, not surprising whatsoever to see these bans against a player like TS Fury, who realistically is going to be the better player on those speed maps. But with those two maps gone and Nomad 5 first picked here, that's really all of the pure speed in the pool pretty much gone now for TS Fury. So, gonna have to make this first pick count. And now, I'll go ahead and welcome iFlame in. How's it going, man?
It's going well. I ran home from dinner, got back literally a minute ago, but we made it for the matchup, which I'm happy about, because this one should definitely be a banger. Obviously, TS Fury unfortunately didn't win last week, but certainly had a good showing and has had a good showing all tournament, really. But bans, as you said, make a lot of sense. And it looks like we're playing Wrath of the Fallen one as we get right into that. This one definitely feels like it should favor TS Fury, one of the more tapping focused maps. And but accuracy is dead even so far.
Yeah, this map's just hard. It's 240 BPM, it's 4 minutes, it's 8.4 stars, mostly flowing with all of these bursts and streams. There's definitely a world where you can kind of combo game this. And right now, Birchman is not just combo gaming, but also winning out in accuracy, which is up about a percent right now. Finally dropping some more accuracy alongside TS Fury now, within a percent of each other. But the full combo for Birchman, keeping him out ahead by 15k right now. We're only about a minute into this map. This is a 4-minute long map. It's gonna be a while before we're actually done with this, and there's a lot of song left to go through, tons more combo to go through for both of these players. So I'm really not expecting the super early break for TS Fury to make a big difference, but with this kind of combo, Birchman is really trying to milk as much as possible out of it. And there's another break for TS Fury, and suddenly this is not looking like a good first pick.
Birchman really playing away with this one. It is a long map, but when you're 1,000 combo up, that's going to grow so quickly. And TS Fury finds yet another miss, potentially starting to struggle with the stamina. You notice the accuracy is now gone in favor of Birchman as well, and TS Fury continues to struggle. I mean, first pick felt good on paper, but Birchman popping off right now and still going strong halfway through the map.
Yeah, I mean, this is actually a ridiculous score. I was watching a little bit of Birchman's practice before this match started. The locals might be full of C ranks, so this is kind of an incredible pop-off for Birchman right now. Most of his locals are worse than TS Fury's score, that's for sure. But finally, a break comes through during this much harder flowing section now for Birchman, and is dropping a lot of combo, dropping a lot of accuracy on this section. The problem is that there's not a big recovery combo for TS Fury to take advantage of that with. He's going to have to just hope and pray for way more of these chain misses to come through, and they do keep coming through for Birchman right now. TS Fury is pulling ahead in terms of the combo, not in terms of score quite yet, but the score is going down right now, down to now only 60k I mean, it was a 100k plus score lead, but the 1/3 claim TS Fury's combo. And now you just have to do the same thing again during this last third of the map as TS Fury.
TS Fury needs to keep holding, dropping that combo. It's going to make things a whole lot harder. Birchman has recovered slightly on this section, but is really going to come down to that ending. That miss is going to be largely inconsequential, but unless we see another huge set of chain misses from Birchman, another like 3-4% accuracy drop, it could still very well go their way. Here we go into the ending. It's going to be a bigger miss from TS Fury to start this one out. Birchman holding on for now, is doing just enough to keep himself in the lead. And if Birchman can hold on, that's a really big drop. Drops a ton of combo, ton of accuracy, but it only goes down by 10,000 points. Both players finding chain misses now. I just don't know that it's going to be enough for TS Fury.
I mean, there's even more of them coming out now. It's down to about 40k, starting from 65k in going into the last quarter. It's coming, but you're going to need more than that for TS Fury to take this. Let's just see if there's any more of those big flame sections. Another break for Birchman, and the score now down to 35k. Still in favor of Birchman, but coming back the way of TS Fury. And there's another break, and there's a spinner at the end, and that is going to be it. And that is a first pick break point. Birchman coming out ahead on the Nomad 5, 240 BPM speed flow aim. Actually going Birchman's way instead of for TS Fury. Definitely, I think, out of expectations for most people, but Birchman's certainly no slouch on speed. And with that kind of combo, 1700 combo on this map, just beast moded the entire first half of it, really. Looked very, very strong in the first half of this map.
Absolutely. I mean, that is such an impressive score from Birchman. I think for Birchman especially, it's so important to come out of the gate hot because Birchman had some of the lower scores in the finals map pool, really across the tournament on most maps that were played. So getting this break point on your opponent's very first pick has to be a huge confidence booster for Birchman going forward, and hopefully that carries into a good match. Birchman now has the next pick. Could definitely opt for one of those more hidden focused picks. I could see Birchman wanting to play something more alt focused as well. That tends to be a solid skill set.
Yeah, I mean, I think when you're against somebody like TS Fury, what you don't pick is the DTs, and what you don't pick is the kind of finger control alt hard rocks, which really in this pool is hard rock 3-4. I think most of the rest of, especially Nomad Hidden, but also potentially hard rock 1 or 2, are also kind of fair game here, but I definitely like picking into the hiddens first for Birchman. This map is a little interesting. This is 280 BPM, speed, burst, finger control, aim control. A lot of stuff going on at the same time in this map. This is a really, really tricky one. A little bit of alt tech, a lot of burst speed, and a lot of control going along with that. You add on the hidden, and obviously this becomes a very, very difficult map. So let's see how both of these players are able to handle this.
Here we go into the second map. Birchman looking to consolidate the break point. Of course, TS Fury looking to get one back on the board. Doesn't want to let Birchman run away with this one early on. And after the break, this map will pick up very quickly in difficulty, and the real test will begin. Do see a fair few accuracy drops now coming through for Birchman, but holds on to the combo, and that's going to be the most important thing here on a map like this one.
I mean, we saw in the last map just how impactful that early mega combo for Birchman was. But this time around, he's being matched by TS Fury, and there goes Birchman's combo, just drops on the slider aim control section. TS Fury holding a little bit longer, but when the combos are relatively even like that, I mean, within 100 combo of each other was the breaks for both of these players. 96 to 90 accuracy is going to do a lot more work than that little bit of extra combo that TS Fury had. Both of those in favor of him for now, though, as we move into the next finger control flowing section in the 1/3. And TS Fury does find a break here. So now pretty decent combo lead for Birchman. The accuracy still very well in TS Fury's favor, but this is looking much better for Birchman on this first pick now. And TS Fury actually doesn't recognize the pattern, or maybe just is a little late, I think, on that slider stream and just drops so much score. Birchman holds onto the combo during the slider stream and is rewarded massively for it. Big combo lead now. TS Fury breaking again during this last third of the map, and Birchman just popping off during the middle section in this map. Had a little bit of a rough start with the accuracy troubles as well, but has really found some footing during this middle section where TS Fury has kind of crumbled a little bit and just continues to find aim miss after aim miss. There's Birchman finally following suit, but not before accruing a 100,000 score lead.
On a map like this, that is really tough to make up, especially because we're quickly running out of time in this map. In the ending, it's just so difficult, so hard to make up any combo on. And Birchman, off to such an absurdly strong start in this match, should be able to close this one out and consolidate the breakpoint part any disconnects or tablet disconnections. But I think TS Fury going to be looking forward towards the next map already. I mean, down 2-0 is not the end of the world, especially in these best of 13 matches. There are still a lot of maps to be played. And I think for TS Fury, I think despite the loss on tapping, you can't be afraid to go back to what's worked in previous weeks and go back to your strengths. So we'll see if we do get more tapping picked. Is there more tapping left in the pool, Dio, or was it all banned out by now?
I mean, it's pretty much all banned or picked at this point. There's a couple of other quote-unquote tapping picks in the pool that are left. This was one of them, obviously, with the abundance of 280 BPM bursts in that map. Hard Rock 4 as well has definitely a good amount of tapping in it. A little bit more finger control focus, but I think the DT1 here is definitely the better pick. AR 9.3 before DT. This one's a little bit of a blast from the past for anyone who was nomad farming back in 2016. As Hyang's Miracle Diff of Contrail Kiseki by Kawatamami. This is some old farm, and this is very, very bursty as well. So I do really like this pick. It's a pretty high OD for both of these players. I think OD 10.2, 10.3, AR 10.53, and 263 BPM. Also, again, a very long DT1 here, almost 4 minutes of needing to be consistent on this approach rate, which a lot easier said than done. There's a lot of people who are just not consistent on AR 10.5. So we'll see how consistent both of these players are on it. I definitely think TS Fury has a big advantage just on higher approach rate reading, so I do really like this pick.
Yeah, I do as well, and we have seen Birchman ban out the DT1 last week, and didn't play it in the semifinals either, so clearly not completely comfortable with some of these higher AR picks, and so I think this is the right path to get back into this match and get into some of that higher AR, and it's the difference in comfort is already extremely clear based on the accuracy. Birchman down at 94, about 4% difference, and while the combos are going to be even for now, I think Birchman's going to have a little bit of a tougher time holding on to that combo going to the rest of the map, but it does survive that first tricky set of jumps.
This is still an aim consistency map, right? This is still aim PP farm. There is a little bit of this kind of funk that you get, it being a DMV remix. There is a little bit of slider funk, but the first dip spike comes out. TS Fury hits it, no problem. Keeps close to 99 act. Birchman falls. Does find a miss, I believe, on the jump or the stream right at the end of it. I couldn't quite see. Finds another break during this first PI time as well. And TS Fury, no problems so far. Drops the act down a little bit. Does finally find a miss. Looks like an under aim there on one of those, but regardless, still looking quite good in comparison to Birchman. Still up 3% act, still with a much better combo during that first KI time. Now, though, 120 combo lead for Birchman. Still the 65k score lead for TS Fury. Still the 3.5% act lead for TS Fury. So this will come Birchman's way, and never mind. Finds another break on those back and forth pause 1-2 jumps, and we're right back to where we were before with TS Fury comfortably in the lead on all fronts.
Yeah, and there is still plenty of time left in the map, so There's plenty of time for Berchman to bring this one back. Obviously, it's going to need some more combo. Nearly misses on that buzz slider, but just barely managed to hold on. That it's going to be a big set of misses. It is immediately traded back by TS Fury. Follows up with another miss, but I don't think as Berchman you can afford to trade misses at this point in the map. You really need to hold on to that combo, start to bring this one back. We do see another slider break, so the score is going to go back over. Just with the accuracy difference, it's going to go back over extremely slowly, and that miss from Berchman is not going to be helping things either.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is just a very, very good pick because this is exactly the kind of map that TS Fury really likes for a lot of solo maps is DT aim with a lot of bursts and some kind of funky stuff going on, and also it being high AR. This is a very, very good map for TS Fury, and I think we're just seeing that right now. I mean, he's not quite double score, but this is a massive score lead. 130k doesn't sound like a ton, but Berchman's entire score is 190k right now. So 140k score lead on a 190k score is insane for TS Fury. No troubles whatsoever, and will very comfortably take the point here on the DT1. Just a matter of how good of a score he can get here.
Yeah, I mean, on the Grand Finals pool, 400k score on a map like this one is honestly a really good score. Pretty much the entire pool has gotten really, really hard at this point. I mean, even just going back to last week, the best score we saw on most maps was around 400 to 450k. So 400k on I mean, some maps even had 200,000 point scores. So maps are only getting tougher, and 450 is going to be a very strong score from TS Fury, getting a point on the board, and not going to be seeing any sweeps, at least in this match. And now it's going to be Berchman's pick up next. I feel like the picks are a little bit more difficult for Berchman because you want to avoid the DT and the hard rock, but TS Fury has had top scores on some of the tech picks, some of the aim picks consistently throughout this tournament. And so it doesn't feel like there are many easy picks left in the pool for Berchman.
I mean, we say that, but he did just win 2 speed picks, right?
That is true.
He just won No Mod 5 Hidden 4. I mean, it's not like those are pure
point.
shred speed picks, but even the quote-unquote easy picks for TS Fury are not necessarily free wins, right? That No Mod 5 went Berchman's way, so I do think I would want to see and just kind of test the waters on some flowing. I was just going to say this hidden free looks really, really good for that. Unlocks things like the Nomad 2 if you do particularly well. Potentially unlocks something like the Nomad 1, which is very flowing heavy, being an Arliss map. If you do particularly well on something like this, can even give you some confidence going into things like the Nomad 3 or Nomad 4 later on. And, not necessarily particularly good picks for all of those maps, but I think this is the first of many of this style of kind of more gimmicky flow aim in the pool. So I very, very much like this pick, and it being in the hidden pool, I think, is an added bonus for Berchman in this matchup. Not that Berchman is necessarily a super solid hidden player. He is good at it, of course, but more so that TS Fury does not usually like to take the hidden, much more of a DT and hard rock player. So picking the hidden into him is usually very, very good, regardless of whether you're necessarily a hidden player. So long as you're around the same skill level, the hidden picks should serve you well, and that's definitely the case here for Berchman.
Yeah, I feel like the hidden mod adds a lot more difficulty on these flow aim maps, obviously compared to something like a name map or even a tech map for that matter, and I do think that is going to favor Berchman. Unsurprising to see misses higher from both players. It's really going to come down to the middle of the map, and it's going to come down to that consistency going into these PI sections. We're going to be seeing a lot of chain misses throughout this map from both players. It's going to be who can hold on to that accuracy and who can build up. Even the 200-300 combo will be pretty solid on this one. Finally, Berchman ends up with a tiny bit of combo advantage here, and he's going to try and run away with this a little bit as TS Fury finds another massive chain miss. Berchman now up to 200 combo, and score lead growing very quickly, but does find the miss. It's going to slow things down a little bit as these patterns just keep on coming.
Yeah, still holding on to the better accuracy for now, and the combo lead's not huge, so not really pulling anything over. Honestly, I'm just waiting for the next chain miss because it is so easy to do on this map. It's only OD9 for this one. You would really want something like an OD 9.7 on a map like this that is this high of star rating, this high of spacing on hidden, but Gaspo, Demon Choice going for OD9 on this map instead. And so you get very, very easy chain misses if you overaim just a little bit on any of these streams. Neither player, though, finding any of those overaims for now. And both of them actually holding on to pretty massive combos. The score lead down to now 10k in favor of Birchman as we come into the last third of the map. Both of them hitting the 1/3, no problem there. Those aren't doubles. That's a continuous 1/3 stream. Both of them hitting it with no issue whatsoever as we continue to look into even bigger combos for both of these players. Now into some aim control here with the space doubles into the sliders. Neither player dropping anything so far. It's just those big cut streams with the massive spacing that have given them trouble. But everything else in this map is just easy for both of them. TS Fury just missing in the bottom right there. It looked like over tapping, but Birchman finds the chain miss right afterwards. TS Fury now with the ability to bring this back, finds a miss of his own. It's 6k in favor of Birchman, holding on into the last quarter now. Just a little bit of a combo lead. TS Fury finding another drop. Birchman matching, but not as big of a chain miss. Both of them dropping, but TS Fury dropping more going into the ending. And Birchman now up nearly 20k. Both of them finding misses. Both of them finding chain drops. It's down up actually to about 22k in Birchman's favor into the cooldown in this map. And I think Birchman has it just off of fewer chain misses during that last hard section in the map. Another miss for TS Fury to seal it up for good. And this pick finally looking solid for Birchman. Does find another drop, another big chain miss right at the end. Don't give it over right at the very end of the map. 7k. He's still got it, but just barely. Almost grasped defeat from the jaws of victory, but able to hold on there just by the fingertips for Birchman and take that point 3-1.
Yeah, that was a little dubious at the end, but the third point does come through, managing to hold on to that 2-point lead. And clearly continuing to find the picks. Certainly hasn't run out yet. Of course, TS Fury still has a lot of options left in this pool. Has the Hard Rock, has the DT4, but I mean, even the DT3, I believe, is available.
DT3 is banned.
Or no, DT3 is banned, okay.
Yeah,
So
DT4 is the last DT map available, and after that, I feel like we're probably seeing the Hard Rocks for TS Fury.
Yeah.
Instead of DT4, it's going to be Hard Rock 4, which is the only other map in this pool that I think you could truly call tapping. And that's in the form of a lot of finger control. This is about 170 BPM or so, with 1/6 galore. And I don't think there's the 1/8 triples on this version. I believe that's just in the unnerfed top dip, which was quite a lot of 1/8 being put into that map, which actually got nerfed for OWC 2023. This map, of course, from 2023 finals as a No Mod 5 here in Hard Rock in Redlock, because, well, this map's CS3, and making it OD10 means the finger control and ACK gets a lot harder on a pick like this. Tons of those 255 BPM bursts, along with some of the 1/3s and changes between 1/3, 1/4, and 1/6 can make this quite difficult. But I mean, this is the last true tapping map in the pool. It's in the form of finger control and high BPM finger control, but it is still tapping.
Yeah, it's going to be a vital one for TS Fury to win, I think. And you give up a second break point on your own pick, and you're going to be in a lot of trouble. And it's certainly not a guaranteed point, although it does feel TS Fury favor, because Birchman, although has had some struggles on the Hard Rock, has clearly shown to be a very proficient finger control player, but is going to find the earlier miss, and a bit of a trend on these tapping maps, but does have the slightly, as I say that, TS Fury, as accuracy drops even lower, and Birchman is doing a good job of recovering. There's a miss now traded back from TS Fury, and that's going to even out the score. This one, lengthy enough that players should have time to build up these combos, and I think we're going to see a lot of back and forth with some big misses on this one, as both players slider break in the exact same spot and are going to be keeping this one close.
I mean, we're pretty much neck and neck, right? 92, 93 ACK for both players, about 150 combo for both players. 12k separating the two of them. Another break there for Birchman. Now a 200 combo lead for TS Fury. Now gone as another miss on one of those aim control patterns comes out. Those 1/3 big horizontal jumps catching TS Fury off. And again, about 100, 150 combo for both players. 92, 93 ACK, 20k score lead. It's still neck and neck between these two, favoring TS Fury on a couple of fronts, mostly the accuracy and, of course, a score lead as well right now. But this accuracy lead definitely helping out, up 1% at the moment. Breaks for both of these players going to even things out once again, which is just better and better for TS Fury, and many more misses coming for Birchman, dropping a ton of score during this middle section, getting that score lead up to 40k in favor of TS Fury. Again, not a huge score lead, but 40k when both players are hovering around 200k is a pretty decent margin.
With that lower accuracy, of course, Birchman's combo is going to be worth a little bit less. So I need a little bit higher combo to even that one out. And there is another very tricky section coming up. If Birchman can hold on, certainly has time to bring this one back. It is a very difficult section and immediately finds the miss. That might spell the end for Birchman's chances on this map, because TS Fury is still going strong, up to 400 combo now, and has absolutely blown this one wide open.
Yeah, I think at this point, this is pretty much already over. TS Fury is just hitting this entire section, by the way. Not that Birchman is not hitting it, because after that initial miss, he has just comboed everything. So just rather unfortunate there going into the ending for Birchman, but big combo at the end of the map for TS Fury, 100k score lead, and a successful Hard Rock 4 pick. So very well done from him. Great score indeed, 390k. Not too shabby. And Birchman, not quite able to compete, I think, just by virtue of not getting a lot of solid combos where needed, and also by virtue of miscount. I mean, dropping those extra misses, missing more often, just drops more score throughout the course of the map. So definitely a very solid run there from TS Fury.
Birchman, of course, still has that extra point to work with, so not going to be feeling the pressure too much for the time being, but does still have to make the right picks. Clearly, those hiddens have been working incredibly well. That hidden one does feel a little bit more risky, but still going to be a good pick for Birchman, and is going to be the pick.
Yep, and I think no real surprises here that you go with the last remaining hidden map in the pool. Sascre.uk map number 2. We already saw Hidden 4. This is the other Sascre map in the pool. Mapped by Inon, originally for Circle Circuit Championships in 2022. This map is pure awkward aim shred. That's pretty much all that goes on in this entire map. The entire way through, it's all pattern aim, it's all awkward aim. A couple of 1/3s here at the start, and a couple of triples throughout the map, but really that's it for anything besides the aim.
Yeah, it's the kind of map as well where you expect the accuracy to play much less of a factor than some of the previous maps we've seen. Really, it's going to come down to who can hold on to that combo through these big KI sections, and hopefully not find any chokes in the slower sections, so it does happen occasionally.
All right, first KI time for both these players, and Birchman the first to find a miss. It's these giant linear aim patterns followed by the pattern aim that give this map a ridiculous level of difficulty. And TS Fury is just hitting everything in this first KI time. What is he doing? Finally finds a miss as we head into the ending triangle jumps there. And up a good almost 50k from just holding right up until the end of that first KI time. Birchman finding multiple misses during the first KI time, dropping the accuracy down about 2% compared to TS Fury, and just not having that extra combo for so long for the entirety of that first chorus.
Yeah, now unless we see a miss from TS Fury in the slow section, which is pretty unlikely, Birchman's now going to have to outplay TS Fury in one of those KIs, and TS Fury looks so incredibly comfortable on that first one. Here we go into some of the harder jumps. Second KI now, Birchman needs to pull ahead here. Is looking good to start. Hold down the combo much longer this time, nailing that diamond pattern, but so is TS Fury. Both players still holding strong, and that 40,000 point lead just won't budge. And that's a big miss from Birchman. Very quickly traded back by TS Fury, so did increase that score by about 10,000 points, but things are going to stay relatively stable. Now, if you are Birchman, you have one more KI to bring this one back, but I think 55k in the next KI is going to be tough. We're going to need to see an absolute pop-off from Birchman in this ending.
Not only that, we're also going to need to see some misses from TS Fury in this ending, which, okay, I mean, that's a start. Finds a miss right at the end of the flow 1/3 pattern there, and now Birchman with opportunity presented to him here going into the last KI time. A little bit more of this slower section. Still some big spacing during this part, so have to stay on your toes. And now into that last KI time, down to 25K in favor of TS Fury, and rapidly closing towards Birchman's side. Now down to 15K, another miss for TS Fury. Birchman also finds the drop though. The score now going back up near to 20K in favor of TS Fury. Birchman just has to pray for more misses to come out from TS Fury. There's another one, but the act drops for Birchman, man, is just not finding the act during this section. And TS Fury, I think, winning pretty much just off the act alone there. 98.5 for TS Fury versus 96.5 for Birchman. iFlame, usually you don't expect act to play that much of a role on an aim map like this, but when the scores are this close, 14 to 42 in the 100 count, I think is certainly enough to do it. And TS Fury, just by virtue of having that better accuracy, winning out. Less max combo as well.
Yeah, it's kind of been the story of this match so far. TS Fury consistently with the significantly better accuracy on a lot of these maps, and Birchman just getting a lot of these points off of these massive combos. But without that massive combo advantage on this one, TS Fury managed to hold on, gets that earlier breakpoint back, and now we're all tied up. Still have a best of 7 left to be played, and it is going to be TS Fury who's got some momentum and a next pick. Could very well go right back to the Hard Rocks. I do think a lot of these Hard Rock picks are still very good for TS Fury. I think GT4 is potentially a decent pick, but will probably be left till a bit later on in this match if it does end up being picked by TS Fury.
Yeah, I kind of like this Hard Rock 1 as a pick here. I would also like to see the Hard Rock 3 at some point, probably for TX Fury. But this Hard Rock 1 I think works very, very well. You just beat Birchman on aim. A lot of the reason that you were better on aim was due to accuracy. Play some Hard Rock, bump up the OD to 10, play some more really high star rating aim, and kind of mechanics abuse a little bit here, right? This is, you know, TS Fury, you're rank 60. Let's see the 2-digit aim come out on this map.
Yeah, and certainly what we're hoping to see. This is going to be the longest map we've seen between these two players so far, so they're going to have some time to build up their combos if they can hold on, and that song is an absolute banger. Going to be an early miss for Birchman, just getting some of those nerves. I mean, those are some very tough cross-screen jumps to get things started before. A bit of a more relaxing section, and players' combos somehow identical coming out of that one. Birchman missing on the easier section though, and once again, down some accuracy early on. You do want to see Birchman recover, as it's putting down a little bit of combo, but the real test is yet to come. Birchman, unfortunately, with another miss.
Yeah, and this has kind of been the story on all of the aim maps that we have seen so far, right? Both the DT1 and the Hidden one. Just been slightly more consistent combo for TS Fury, better act for TS Fury as well. That's definitely the case right now. I mean, up 3% in the accuracy. Has had a little bit of a better time with the combo on this map. Not that big of an impact, I think, compared to this act lead, which he's just looking much more comfortable on the Hard Rock aim overall. Now we get into a bit of a slower section. Was a miss for TS Fury a little bit earlier on, so is down about 30 combo. And a third of the way in. This is a 4-minute map as well, so quite a lot of time still left in this one. Still early days for both of these players, especially with combos pretty recently reset for both of them. Nobody finding the breaks on this build-up section in this verse either. And now into this kind of breakdown section. Neither of them dropping. There's the Mr. TS Fury though, and now Birchman with a pretty decent combo lead. Able to hold during this section. Does finally find the miss though. And once again, it's just the accuracy doing so much work for TS Fury, keeping that score lead on his side, even when finding that miss, even when down combo that entire section. 98 to 96 is just such a good act advantage for him.
Yeah, I mean, Birchman only made up 3,000 points on TS Fury throughout that section. So we're going to need to see a lot more work here. Unfortunately, I think Birchman just doesn't look the most comfortable on this one, at least relative to TS Fury. And there's really one more tricky section coming up. And I mean, it's just free combo advantage for TS Fury right now. The score difference is coming up to nearly 50,000 points. And on a map as difficult to hold on to as this one, that is a lot of score to make up. So things are looking good for TS Fury to put a 4th point on the board and pull ahead for the first time in this match, but does love to survive this PI. Birchman finds the miss. That's going to be pretty rough, and TS Fury has a chance to close this one out right here if he can gain just another 100 combos, really all that's needed at this point.
I think this is pretty much already done. I mean, 85k score lead for TS Fury. The AC lead has also kept up to this point, right? 98.5 to 96.7. Still doing a ton of work for TS Fury. The score lead now up to 115k and climbing as he continues to work with this 450 combo lead, now up to nearly 650 combo for himself, and just crushing it. Yeah, another miss to come through for Birchman, and TS Fury just finding his stride here in the second half of the map. Finally finds a miss for himself, but not before cresting 425k on this Hard Rock 1. This is a very, very good score for TS Fury on this map, and you know what? I think the two-digit mechanics did come out, iFlame. Turns out when you're playing an 8-star pool, mechanics abuse as a very high-ranked player is a pretty valid strategy sometimes.
Yes, it is. Especially with the maps as hard as they are. I mean, you really get a chance to show off that skill cap. I mean, Birchman has still been winning some picks that just give up that break point, but it was incredibly close, right? So Birchman is far from out of this one, only down by 1 point, has the next pick as well to bring this one back. Is starting to run out of picks, but I think still has some good options left. The HD3 didn't quite work out, but it was close enough that I think the No Mod 2 wouldn't necessarily be a bad choice for Birchman. Even the No Mod 3, personally don't hit it all, but could be a little risky, of course. But I mean, beyond that, there's no hiddens left. You don't want to touch Hard Rock. You probably don't want to touch GT4, although maybe it's a late stage pick for. I mean, realistically, it's probably a bit of a coin flip between these two. And so in my mind, that leaves No Mod 2, No Mod 3, No Mod 4. You might just get deck abused by TS Fury here. It's going to be the No Mod 4, okay.
I mean, I think the thing is, right, you have 3 picks left as Birchman. Assuming TS Fury wins his own picks, you need to win 3 maps out of what remains, right? Probably not winning the No Mod 1. You're probably not winning the Hard Rocks or the DT4. I think it just leaves the 3 remaining No Mods. So definitely like this pick, even in spite of TS Fury, of course, still being able to play tech pretty well, still being a good tech player. I think it's just what is left in the pool that Birchman has, I think, a better chance on than either Hard Rock, which is usually TS Fury favored, DT4, which is definitely TS Fury favored, or the No Mod 1, which we've seen how all of the other aim maps in the pool have gone so far. That's 3 of his 4 points are on Hidden 1, Hard Rock 1, DT1. So I don't think you want to pick the No Mod 1.
Anything else, I think, perfectly good options, but off to a bit of a rough start, has already dropped a ton of accuracy and found a couple of slider breaks. Meanwhile, TS Fury holding that combo strong when we found some accuracy drops at the start, but is recovering pretty lightly, and this is not a long map. That miss is finally, but it's going to be traded immediately back by Birchman, and it's just a 50,000 point lead for TS Fury, even combo, but that accuracy DO for Birchman is really hurting right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like TS Fury has incredible accuracy either, right? It is down at 92, but look at this map, man. It's just so hard to act stuff like this. And with both players finding misses again at pretty much the same point, it's once more a tale of 2 accuracies telling the story right now. TS Fury does find the break, so potentially the combo can start to play a role here for Birchman, but it's a 50,000 score lead for TS Fury. When you have 150k score, 50k is a massive lead, and Birchman just needs to pop off in this last quarter and needs more misses to come through for TS Fury. A paltry 100 combo lead is not going to do it here, but this just might. 350 combo lead for Birchman going into the ending. The score lead coming back his way. The score lead on his side, but he finds the miss immediately after. Traded by TS Fury once again. Birchman trading it back over to his side. TS Fury giving it away once again, and it's the trade back and forth over and over again at the end of the map. Another break for Birchman, and at the end of it all, it's just not quite in reach for Birchman. Another break point for TS Fury. 3,600 points in his favor. It's all down to the accuracy of the combo there for Birchman. Almost enough to bring it over to his side. If he had held for just a second or two longer, that 3,600 could be in his favor instead. But now it's 5-3 for TS Fury. Next pick up for him as well. The ability to bring us to match point.
Yeah, and that's a pretty devastating one for Birchman. So close, but with that loss, TS Fury now has back-to-back breakpoints, won the last 3 maps in a row, has the pick as well, looking to make that 4 and be on match point. And to top it all off, still has 2 of the Hard Rocks open, as well as that No Mod 1 that we mentioned that TS Fury has looked so good on. I think we probably see a TS Fury avoiding the Hard Rock 2. I think Birchman has looked surprisingly good on that Hard Rock 2, and it's going to be the No Mod 1. I mean, it's like you said, Dio, all the ones have gone TS Fury's way so far, and TS Fury is looking to continue that trend.
I will say, as Birchman says, this is aim.
Yeah.
Definitely, there's some aim in this map. There's definitely some aim in this map. It is, however, a lot of flow aim. There's a lot of streams in this map, and they are not easy. It's an Arliss map. If you've played those before, you know what you're getting into with this one. This definitely has, I think, more flow aim difficulty than your standard Arliss map, so it is a little bit more of kind of a stream flow aim pick, but also quite a lot of aim difficulty. This is, kind of hybrid mechanics map, almost tiebreaker length at 4 minutes once again.
Mind you, if Birchman can get a point here, is absolutely right back in this map. Is going to find an early miss, but with the length, that's not going to matter too much. Unfortunately, as early as it is, finding themselves down on accuracy yet again.
And I will note, this map actually got qualified during the week. This was OD8 when it was selected for the pool, and became OD10 during the week. So both of these players are going to have a little bit more trouble acking this than they might have otherwise. But I think OD10 is much better in case of note lock, because it's just far easier to get back on the stream. There goes TS Fury, though. And again, these streams have some hands. It's an under-aim on the slider for Birchman that gives it right back over to TS Fury, though. And again, the accuracy game so much more in favor of TS Fury. 97 to 92 right now. Just a massive act difference in his favor. And, I can't say it's super unexpected on a mechanics pick like this, but it feels like maybe a slight offset issue for Birchman, consistently hitting late right now. And also just kind of chain misses during some of the harder parts for him that are really dragging the accuracy down. So it feels a little bit unfortunate in that regard, where if you don't have that kind of big chain miss that you had right in the last break, I don't think this is nearly as bad of a game state as it is right now. But as things stand, TS Fury is just kind of running away with this massive 500 combo lead. Does actually drop the combo, and this ACK lead is now down to 3% instead of 5%, but it's still 45k. It's still a 3% ACK lead, and it's only a 100 combo lead for Birchman here, going into another pretty tough stream section. Maybe this can make the difference.
Yeah, Birchman doesn't have quite enough recovery combo. Is getting back up there, ready to capitalize. There's a big drop from TS Fury. Birchman should be able to bring this one back, but finds an even bigger miss, trades it right back, and that score lead is not going anywhere. All of a sudden, it has doubled in favor of TS Fury, and with both players dropping at the end of that section, the combos even, the accuracy in favor of TS Fury, it's going to be really tough to come back from at this point. I mean, we do still have about just over a minute left in the map, so there's theoretically time, but at this point, we're probably going to see Birchman full comboing the rest of the map, and TS Fury just needs to hold on, reasonably well. As long as we don't see crazy chain misses on every pattern, should be solidly in TS Fury's favor as we are into the last quarter of the map.
And once again, it's those big chain misses that are determining the accuracy, right? You saw a massive chain miss for Birchman during that stream diff spike section in the middle of the map, and that's what dropped his accuracy back down to 93. That's what gave up a bunch of score to TS Fury. If you don't have that big chain miss, it's maybe winnable for Birchman. I think he's just finding too many of those, and I mean, you can't blame him. The map's hard, but it's just TS Fury handling the chain misses, handling the potential for note lock a lot better on this map, just having the better flow aim on a lot of these streams and not finding as huge of chain misses and more misses to come through for Birchman as well. TS Fury will trade the miss out, but not before cresting that 100k score lead mark. Flame Horizons once again is Birchman, as TS Fury up another 100,000 points on the Nomad 1, and every single one slot map going his way in this matchup.
I mean, at least there's no one slot maps left in the pool at this point. You know, maybe there's some hope, but yeah, at this point, Birchman is going to need to win 4 maps in a row. Of course, one of those would have to be the tiebreaker, but does have one more pick. I mean, you still have the Nomad 2 and the Nomad 3. If you really want to gamble, you can go for a DT4, but it's going to be tough from here on out. We'll see what Birchman wants to go for. I think this is the pick that you want to take your time on, consider carefully, and I guess we'll find out shortly.
I'm looking at the Nomad 3 right now. I'm looking at the Nomad 3. It's Hard Rock 3 instead. Okay, you know what? I kind of understand this for 2 reasons. 1, awesome song. 2, this is TV size. One thing in common that all of the maps that TS Fury has won have, they're all pretty long. I mean, Nomad 4 is the shortest one. That was the other kind of short map, but every other map he's won has been 4 minutes, basically. So maybe something a little shorter can do well here for Birchman. CS 6.5 alt aim control at 157 BPM. This is alt tech hybrid CS 6.5 Hard Rock, and it is TV size, really spiky, especially in the second half of this map. You're gambling your future on this map, but turns out, I mean, the gamble's paying off at the intro here. Birchman combos, TS Fury misses, 5% act lead out of the intro as we get now into the real start of this map.
Yep, looking good for Birchman to start things off. These kinds of maps tend to have so much variance, and maybe that'll pay off for Birchman. Does find the miss, but immediately traded back by TS Fury, so Birchman is going to need to be able to hold on to this lead. Both players continue to trade misses, but Birchman is just finding a few more, starting to drop that accuracy. The score lead starts to decrease, and with that miss, it's finally going to flip over to TS Fury, who has managed to hold on to some combo. We're already halfway through the map. This one could go either way. You know, if we see a chain miss from TS Fury, Birchman certainly could bring this one back, but this slow section is just free combo advantage in favor of TS Fury. And if we're going to want to see Birchman come back, it has to happen now. You can't really afford any other misses. There's the slider break for Birchman, traded back by TS Fury, but I think the damage has been done. I don't know if there's any crazy chain missile spots at the end of this map.
It was another break for TS Fury. No, Birchman finds the drop. I think if he had held, he might have been able to bring this back to his side, but it's not going to be the case. It's a win for TS Fury once again, and no longer just match point. It's the win in the match overall, 7-3 for TS Fury. Birchman gambled, and gambling did not pay today for SparklyFairy200. Going to be eliminated in 3rd place, and TS Fury nujabes moving on to the grand finals, guaranteeing himself a top 2 finish and guaranteeing himself a rematch of the winners finals versus Wanderio.
Yeah, definitely going to be out for vengeance after that incredibly close finals match between these 2 players. But 3rd place, very good result for Birchman as well. Even with this match, despite the score, there are some incredibly close maps by just a few thousand points that unfortunately did not go Birchman's way. So definitely can be proud of this result. That grand finals matchup between Wanderio and TS Fury is going to be tomorrow at 22 UTC. So make sure to be there. If it's anything like the finals, that is going to be an absolute banger of a matchup. And excited to see all three of these top three in OWC as well. All three of them made the team for Canada.
Yeah, very excited to see how this goes. Once again, though, commiserations to Birchman on the loss. Congrats on the top 3 finish to him. Right now, the prize pool is $920, and I think third place gets 15% of that, so a solid, $140-ish. Still not too shabby of winnings for third place there. But of course, the real congratulations here to nujabes. A spot in the top 2 and a chance at winning the tournament overall. Thank you to iFlame for casting alongside me. Thank you all for watching, and thank you to Vexia for roughing. I'm Theo. We'll see you back here for Redlock Grand Finals tomorrow at 22 UTC.